Okay, so, thanks for coming out. Great weekend. Grateful, very thankful to everybody that contributed to this process. We're working on rookie free agency right now. Obviously very excited. It's kind of like surgeons, right? Like after operation, you never hear them say like, boy, that didn't go so well. We're obviously all very excited. Coaches, scouts, all did a great job. They're in there working right now, trying to sign guys, and it's going to be exciting. A lot of competition, and very grateful to Mike and his staff and all their efforts. So, with that.
John, through this process, what did you learn about Mike?
No pressure.
Yeah. Just this weekend? Confidence, clarity, very well thought out. Yep, no panic, easy.
Mike, for you to both like go through it for the first time, go to this game,
No pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to it before, but just like having trust in how we operate. I think we had a lot of conversations throughout the process of how it was going to go and how we wanted it to go. And, so you're playing that out, in your mind, as it starts to play out. So, like John said, just like really, really thankful for everybody in the room over there and all the work that they put in. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that many of you whom you know, but many you don't. And just thankful for like the shared vision that they had and the buy-in coming from our staff, because it's not easy to to get all that information on the same page. They've been scouting all fall and all that whole process, and then all of a sudden here comes a new coaching staff, and the language that we're using, and we're trying to kind of merge those worlds. So easier said than done. So a lot of respect on their end, and it was a really, really awesome process to see it kind of unfold.
John, you got 2 corners today and a couple of more offensive linemen. Can you kind of take us through what really stands out to you?
Yeah, we only scouted DBs at Auburn. It just literally fell that way, and we had those guys right together, so it was amazing that we ended up selecting both of them, both really cool kids and young men, and competitors, and to add to that room, those 2 guys is it's a big deal, excited to get them here and get them going.
Mike, where do you see each of those guys fit in, the 2 cornerbacks?
Come in and compete. Really that's the theme for the whole draft class. Nehemiah's probably more of an outside guy. Definitely early, both guys on special teams. We anticipate to come in and make a huge impact for us. DJ probably both inside and outside, but hey, come in, man, compete. We'll figure it out. Once it kind of like the offensive line, it's like let's go defensive line. We got a lot of reps to be had out there, so it'll hash itself out.
John, what is it about the scheme that they played in Auburn?
Is that yours?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And the way that they fit in. What is it about the scheme at Auburn and the way they fit in it highlighted them and their ability to translate?
I mean, it wasn't necessarily scheme, quite honestly. It was just the skill set, with Pritchett, the speed, DJ, like he can play, he can play nickel, he can play outside too. So it wasn't necessarily a scheme evaluation. They're both talented cover guys now. There's things that both of them need to clean up, and once they get here, they'll understand that, and they'll have a clear vision for where they're headed.
John, what went the decision to move down in that 4th round?
We had several players right in there that we knew there's groupings, and so it made sense. They were very aggressive. A lot of calls this morning, and they just were the most aggressive of the group, and it was the one that made the most sense as it pertains to where we wanted to go and what our board looked like and what we'd be possibly giving up in order to acquire both the guys that we did, and luckily we were 2 positions that we had targeted at that spot.
John, did you see with DJ potentially playing inside, was that mostly based off his tape, or did you guys get a chance to see him do that at the Senior Bowl as well?
Both, yes, yeah. He's taking reps in there, and you can see it. There's some, some of his college film as well. So, he's a really smooth mover. He's like 175 pounds, I think, but really quick, easy mover.
John, what do you like about Tyreek Knight?
I think that's a good one for Mike. Mike's
Man,
more of the linebacker guru.
Yeah, again, I mean, the first thing that pops out on the tape is he sees the game quickly. So keying diagnose, it's hard. It's instincts, I guess, is a good way to put it. But like moving where the ball is going, kind of before everybody else, maybe is a good way to describe it. He stays square. I think he brings some thump at the point of attack. And then when we brought him in, we got to meet him. He just really liked the person and the competitor, and his demeanor is soft spoken right now, but I think he's a very clear communicator. And then just a guy throughout the process we started to really like, and linebackers are paid to make tackles, and he makes a lot of tackles, so that's a good thing.
From your contacts in Michigan, what did you hear about AJ Garner?
Well, it's great that we had the guy that helped recruit him right down the hall with Jay. But just talking to Grant Newsom was worked with him previously, but just our type of guy, top level worker, big time competitor. I think he can block and run a pretty significant route tree as well. And then he played for Jay on special teams and on all 4 phases, so we're going to expect him to come contribute in the kicking game as well, as soon as he steps in the door.
John, when did Terrell first get on your radar?
Oh shoot! I mean, those guys knew about him. For me personally, it was when he was at the Ohio State workout. I wish I could have said I went to Findlay and scouted this fall, but didn't quite have time for that. But yeah, he went to the Ohio State workout, had a great workout. He's a monster of a dude, and we brought him in. He had a great visit. Great visit with his staff. Treated everybody in the building with a lot of respect, and just has a really, really nice upside. And he did what he's supposed to do. He dominated at a level that he's supposed to dominate in at Findlay. And length, size. He's a former basketball player that's reworked his body and he's still on the come. So it's a really fun. It's a really fun shot at an amazing upside.
John, was the age and a lot of these guys being seniors, that intentional or just a product of the COVID year mostly?
Product of COVID year. Yep.
Could Mike Gerald play guard? Or is he strictly tackle?
Probably right now staying at tackle.
Mike, just for the style of football, brand of football you want to play, you use 4 or 8 picks online, but just how important is being good in the trenches the way you see a football team?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you go into the process saying, we have a quota or what we wanted to, but absolutely. I mean, that's where the game starts up front, and it's going to be really important for us to be dominant in that phase. I mean, if it stops there, then you really don't have a shot the rest of the play. So, again, the style of play, we talk about all that, but, we want to be physical. We want to be imposing. We want to, create new lines of scrimmage, and I think you're seeing the investment in that, and we're going to have awesome competition on, both lines of scrimmage, so it'll be fun to kind of iron sharpen iron throughout the process and throughout camp, and just really, I'm just excited to go finally do some actual team drills here. Start OTAs. So we've been talking about it a lot, but now it's time to go do it.
Mike, Barner's kind of billed as a blocking tight end. Do you see upside for the receiving aspect of his game too?
I do.
What did you learn about him on that front? From Michigan?
I do. I mean, his run after the catch is good. I mean, again, I think he's an underrated athlete. I think he's got a little bit more weight to put on, but he's the blocking tight end is a really important position. I mean, it kind of starts in the C gap in the run game, and who's going to defend it and who's going to block it. So you got to be able to answer those questions. So and those skill sets don't just grow on trees. It's tough to do. So we expect him to be able to do that. So it's a coveted skill set.
John, this group collectively has, I think, almost 300 starts in college. Kind of tied in with what Michael Sean asked. Do you see that as a product of the COVID years?
Yeah.
Or do you see that was that like a priority? You wanted guys who had a lot of gameplay experience?
No, that's a product of the COVID year, and then the decisions that a lot of these guys made last year to stay, and that's a lot of NIL as well. Influence, guys just, what, I'm going to stay in school. I'm making some good money, more experience, whoever's advising them. Yeah.
John, kind of a bigger picture question. He's going to not get you for a while. There was a standard that was set here pretty quickly after you got here that you guys are
compete for division titles, make playoff runs, all
Yeah.
that stuff. You know, still some rookie contracts and whatnot. But you pretty much have your team assembled. How much progress do you think you've made in the past few months to kind of get back to that level?
I think we've made a lot of progress, and we're always going to keep looking at it the same. We're never going to be like this rebuilding or whatever term you want to use. We're not that. Like, it's the standard is the standard. So, yeah, nothing's changed in that regard. We're always going to be pushing the envelope. Now, just because we got through this draft doesn't mean we're not going to stop either. You know, I mean, we're evaluating these guys when they walk in the door. We're going to be helping them out as much as we possibly can. We have all the tools in this building to help everybody. All individual, there's a ton of individuals that can, you know, assist these guys and accentuate their strengths and help them with their deficiencies. And we're just going to continue to do that all the way through. And we're going to continue to be talking to other teams about possible trades and cap casualty guys and, you know, whatever, what have you. And it's you know, I can't say it enough. It's a full year process. It just doesn't stop. It hasn't stopped, quite honestly, since 2010. So.
John, what did you like that one, man?
Who?
The guitar?
No, I know. That was awesome. Good job. Yeah, phenomenal. Yeah. He's from Moldova. No. What do we like about him? He's huge. He's tough. Like really aggressive. Again, you guys hear this all the time. But like, boy, I can't believe he was still available. Like that was one of those guys. Like, okay, you're waiting, and it's like keeps coming, and you know, he's been primarily a right side player. He's played right guard, right tackle, but size, length. You know, again, another dude that had a really nice Senior Bowl week and competed at a high level. So, yeah, and Dave said he had a really fun press conference with you guys, so it's great.
John, did you have any thought of a quarterback? I mean, you talked about
No quarterbacks.
none whatsoever.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, we didn't have any on our board. Nope. Yeah. No, it was just one of those. I mean, you know, once the 12 or the 6 went in the first 12 picks, I think it was kind of like, wow, all right. So, and then there was slots all the way through, and it just didn't fit.
What's your long-term plan beyond 2025?
Are you being serious right now? That's a serious question. What's your long-term plan?
What the draft is about, not just this year.
Yeah, well, we just traded for Sam Howell. He's got 2 years left on his contract. He's, 2 years younger than a lot of these guys. Gino's here. I mean, we have a really cool room right now. We're trying to add a couple guys right now, and we'll continue to work it. So, you know, we'll see where it goes. We're always looking at that position. I can't tell you what our long-term plan is because I honestly don't know, but Sam is a huge part of it because we made a major trade to get Sam before we got here.
Maybe for my
Serious question, and that was very serious how you did it too. Like, no, he's like, what is your long-term plan? Yeah.
maybe almost as serious with Sam. He's been in the building. You've had a chance to have him here and go through it. What have you learned about him?
Man, it's we're going on 3 weeks now. I'm impressed with Sam how he operates. You know, we're building it slow offensively, so the whole playbook's not in, but command of the huddle, impressed with. You know, obviously he can spin it out there, and that's easy to see. Just getting used to his personality. You know, I think he's starting to blossom a little bit more. The personality's starting to come out, but really excited about him. You know, like John said, it's a cool combination of guys, and I think we got some great coaches. You know, working with them every day. So it's early, but you know the returns are very positive.
Mike, a lot was made, maybe more than needed to be made, but some of the redecorating in there, just we haven't had a chance to ask you about it.
That's a good way to put it.
We haven't had a chance to ask you about it.
Yeah.
I guess what was the thought process behind that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, our coaching staff's respect for this place is off the charts. I mean, that's why we wanted to be here, and the standard that's been set here is extremely attractive. It's obviously a great organization. I mean, the history of success that we've had here. I mean, that's what we're chasing. You know, we're trying to be back to Super Bowls and playing elite defense and smashing people up front. I mean, those are all the things that we're chasing. So, I mean, obviously, we got a huge amount of respect for the coaches that have been here, the history. I think what we were trying to do with the with the players in terms of messaging is, hey, like we want to create our own message and our our rallying cries and stuff that is ours, and for this team. So that's all it was. Yeah, I mean, I think you can walk around the halls and see all the history and stuff. I mean, I think it speaks for itself.
John, with Nehemiah, he's returned kicks before. Is that something you guys see him factoring into potentially for you guys as well?
Yeah, I'm sure Jay will give him a shot back there. Yeah, I mean, if you're into 4-3-7 or. I heard him tell you guys 4-2-6 or whatever. I was like, wow, that's even better.
Yeah, that's faster than I
Let's
thought.
stick with that, because that's not what the card says. But I'm sure Jay will give him a shot.
We've seen you guys over the years on day 3 really hit on some guys, and Reed most recently comes to mind in that regard. How special is it these guys on day 3 that may have a chip on their shoulder, may have been overlooked, and they're going to be coming in at the end of the week really maybe trying to prove something?
Yeah, for years now we've had a blast on day 3. We always talk about Monday being like the entertainment night. Let's get through Friday. Last night was like, whew, that took felt like 8 hours. Like just getting through that second, third round, and then today's the day that we really just truly love, because this is where the heart and soul of the class is. These are the guys, and the guys that the staff's working on right now. This is the day, and now we'll see how teams adjust with the people that they drafted, how that they signed, what's going to be on the waiver wire, who's going to want to trade some people, because you have to adjust your team after this weekend based on what you did and what your salary cap looks like and your roster numbers. So but we love day 3.
What's the idea behind the shirts on day 3?
Sorry. Yeah, our gas station shirts. Yeah, this is we're getting up. Yeah, we're going to work, getting up, and this is the day. This is the day. We just get after it, and it's just hey, we're not going to outsmart you. We're going to outwork you.
Mike, do you prefer Tyrese at 1?
And that has nothing to do with gas stations, I guess, but just hard work.
Do you prefer Tyrese at 1 spot, Mike, or Will, at least to start out?
Yeah, we'll start him. I'm not sure. I mean, we're going to start him at both. I think that he can progress to being a Mike linebacker. He has a skill set to play Will, so we'll kind of figure it out as we go. But I think a natural transition or a natural progression is easier to go from Will to Mike rather than the other way. So that's probably what he'll end up doing it. But both spots inside, I think you can find a home.
You've said before that you ask your linebackers to do a lot in your scheme. Are there certain things you saw from him on tape where you said that would be a really good fit for what we want to do?
Yeah, I think I addressed it earlier when we were talking about what we saw in him, but the ability to play square, anticipate plays, solid at the point of contact. I do think he can improve his hand usage, but I just think he sees the game and it's slow for him. And we're gonna ask our guys to man the middle of the defense, and I think he can do that eventually.
And do you still have Dodson as your middle linebacker and Baker as your weak side?
Yeah, that's the plan right now. But I think what's cool about both those guys is they both played both spots. So that's something that you might not have seen in our scheme in years past that you might see with our guys, is based on what we're asking them to do, and any particular call they could end up switching spots, which provides some versatility for us. And so we'll see how that shakes out.
Mike, how important is versatility to the defense, and how did that play in some of the players you all drafted?
Well, of course it's important, because you're going to ask guys to do, multiple things on any given down. But I think if you think at a big picture, we want to be able to kind of put guys in position to do what they can do best. So guys that have kind of an elite trait, we're going to try to do that as much as we can. But if you can do more than one thing, then now all of a sudden we can kind of present the same looks and do multiple things out of those looks, and create matchups that we're trying to create. So it's like this one big kind of moving puzzle. How you do it? If you have more options, you can get to more stuff easily, and now you're creating better matchups for your guys, and ultimately you're in a better spot to win each situation that's given. So kind of a convoluted answer, but that's how we see it.
No, so in that, so you need smartness and instinct, and how much do those two have to align for you to be able to move those pieces around? That might have been a convoluted question.
A couple convoluted things back to back there. Yeah, I mean, you want smart football players that can adapt and adjust. But when we've moved guys and they're playing 17 positions, and I come up here and brag to you about how our guys are moving around. It's like, well, is that best for the player? You know, is he going to be able to play his best football if he's playing 17 positions? I don't think that's the right answer for you. But if he's playing a couple things that he can play really well, but it's complementary, I think now we're in our wheelhouse right there, if that makes sense. So, you know, when we say, you know, versatile, and it's not like they're doing 1,000 things, it's just a complementary menu where, you know, where you can kind of keep it moving and keeping the offense off balance.
Mike, with Knight, what stands out about his coverage ability and dropping?
Well, I think he's an efficient mover. I mean, I keep saying staying square, but, like, we want to be a square defense. You know, you got to be able to go through us and not around us. So we're going to ask our inside backers to play anything from out of the backfield or number 2 weak, which takes an elite skill, which we'll see how well he does that. But I think, you know, staying square and being able to play the middle of the defense is important. You know, you got to be in position to break and handle checkdowns and press into routes and, you know, kind of live in the worlds that we're going to live in. So, again, I mean, he hasn't done all the things that we're going to ask him to do, you know, schematically, but nobody ever does. So you're looking at how he moves and how he thinks and try to project it the best you can.
How's Lieutenant Wosu and Ed Lucas doing? Come back?
Good. Yeah, they're both doing good.
Does it appear they'll be ready for training camps, or not too soon to?
Yeah, it's probably too soon. Well, Jenna, you know, Abe, he's doing great, but we'll see.
John, all three offensive linemen you drafted describe themselves as nasty. When you're evaluating that position in particular, where's the balance between just like technical ability and athleticism versus the attitude side of it?
Yeah, we try to stay away from the word soft. Like when people are like, "This soft," like, what is that? That's not very good. So let's eliminate those guys, right? No, like Steve Hutchinson, you know, talked to us like the other day about like their group, right, that they played with. You know, it's just like, hey, look, like offensive linemen need to play as a group. They need to be tough, nasty. Like they should be walking around the building together, and you know, they should be in their own world. You know, and that's what we're trying to get together. You know, we've been blessed to be around a lot of really like great offensive line groups. You know, when we were in Green Bay, we had a line that was together for 10 years, and it was a big deal. And those guys all would probably tell you they weren't the most talented guys, you know, but they worked together as one, and that's, you know, what we're trying to accomplish. And tone setting was definitely something that was a factor in the guys that we wanted to acquire.
John was not drafting any safeties, just about how you feel about the guys you already have, the free agents, and then Kobe and Julian, etc.
To a certain extent, yes, because our grading scale represents that, like what our team looks like, and so yeah, it's a good group right now.
John, it was on the transactions last week. You guys had Rashad Penny in for a visit. Is that still something that could happen? Or?
Sure. Yeah, we had him in, talk with him. You know, it's good to see him again. He's such a great person. You know, it's good to see him. Yeah, it's a possibility.
Anything else? Thank you.
All right. Thanks for coming out this weekend, you guys.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.